It's Connor Treacy. It's Declan Brennan. It's a race to 6 in this, the Group of Death. The Grupo della Muerte. Wow. Stephen Jameson, Tony Holgate with you. Declan Brennan at the table following a successful first jab at the pack. And he's broken these apart beautifully. You take this split every single time. Just a little bit of work to do in the middle of the table. But I think you'd be pretty happy if you came to the table with this every single time.
He's got a new shirt. He used to play green all the time.
Yeah, this has been in the rotation though.
Is it?
Yeah, he's had the sort of the blue and the green on a bit of a rotation. Whether he feels he's more successful in the green, I'm not sure.
I always saw him in the green. I never saw him not playing green. I thought it was just his being patriotic to Northern Ireland and keeping with the.
Maybe this was his European statement to get the blue on it. But really, really interesting group, this one. We'll show you the table in a little bit. That's a lovely shot from deck to open things up. And we'll just have a little look to see the lay of the land, because essentially this is the Group of Death. There's 5 pros in it, and the non-pro is as good as, and maybe even better than, a few of those on the circuit. Scott Pope is top class, England international, well known. And when you get 6 players of that calibre all duking it out for 4 spots, there's going to be 2 victims of a little bit of heartbreak who may well have gone through in other groups, but they cannot think like that.
There's going to be 2 unhappy campers.
Oh, I should say.
This is a battle-hardened Declan Brennan. He's been through 2 6-5 victories, I believe.
He has, yeah. As I say, we'll bring up the table for you in a little bit. It's been an interesting opening day, to say the least.
Well, it's a fine start from Declan Brennan. Simple black ball to open his account here in the main arena, and down it goes. Ian Alley was potting balls out of snookers, and he got himself in front of Declan by no fault of Declan's, and his head sort of used to go down a little bit. You know, it's like the world, you know, you just by the expression on his face, like, you know, the world's against me. Well, you know, I'm having so much bad luck, people get a lot of luck against me, sort of thing. That was just my take on it. I mean, he might tell you something completely different, but for me, mentally this season, he looks a different player, and you know, and he's being rewarded with it. He's at the business end of everything at the moment. I mean, he's a fantastic cueist, really, really is. Good character as well. A lot of fun to be around.
Yeah, he certainly is, and you know, at the core of all that, I think, is a really determined individual. He's a real competitor, as Declan, and it's been good to see him actually sort of remind us what he's all about this year, because I don't feel like he's necessarily had all the opportunity in the world to do that over the last sort of, well, the year before. He won the WPF World Masters in 2023. No ultimate pool events though, and it was starting to play on his mind. I think the Masters was important to him. Before that title, there was a little bit of a fallow period.
Well, this looks a good response from Connor Treacy. going to drop this red in. He's just looking where he wants to have the cue ball for the black, which I'm going to guess it's going to the top right-hand corner.
Yeah, and for as much as we've talked about Declan, important also to talk about Connor Treacy, who his first year as an Ultimate Pool Pro, having kind of come up after a quite astonishing run, really, in the Challenger Series in 2023.
Did well in the pairs, didn't he?
He did very well in the pairs, won it, and yeah, very much earned his place in the pros. And I was speaking to Connor earlier, and his sort of take on his season was he's really not played too badly. He feels like he's not far away. He's just felt like he's turned up some weekends on at Pro Series and feels like it's ended very, very quickly, and that's just sometimes the nature of the beast.
It can happen.
It isn't necessarily your fault when that happens, because
you're playing at the highest level.
Yeah, something like this can happen. Declan Brennan can break like God and starve you of action at the table. Two big breaks from Decky to kick us off in this evening's match.
It happened to Decky earlier this year against Melling, didn't it? One of those
It did.
monster matches where Melling doesn't miss for a considerable amount of time he gets over the line. And you have a few dry breaks against somebody like that, and all of a sudden the match has passed you by inside 20 minutes.
Connor Treacy gets first chance, or second chance I should say, in this frame. That was a surprising entry into it. Didn't expect Declan to run aground from there.
Coming round to survey the situation, checking the black. It's nicely available into the centre before he deposits these two yellows into this corner.
What I really like about Connor at the table is, I talked about it earlier, talking about a few different players. I think Connor's mentality is really, really good. Does a pretty good job of keeping himself level-headed.
Just went a little higher up than he probably would have liked for this black. Proved costly.
Yeah, it was tough on that. He landed, didn't he, a bit. Yeah, he's just sort of digesting it a little bit. I think that black was really, really tricky, and I think that's not where he wanted to be on it.
Well, he played that last yellow with a bit of right-hand side, trying to check it to narrow the angle off that bottom rail, and because he put check on, he thought it would kill the white a little bit. So what he's done, he's played it firmer than he normally would, but it didn't kill the white. Basically threw the check side and it spun up the table farther. If that makes any sense to you at all, J-Mo?
It did, yeah, it did. I think if he's super critical about that visit, maybe on that last yellow, maybe he lands on it on a line where he doesn't have to rely on so much check, and you can land on it straight and pretty much just pick your line really on the 8 ball.
The thing is, if he'd come 2 more inches further up, it was a very easy double.
Yeah.
He probably would have rather had that, come to think of it. But anyway, it's Declan Brennan that's at the table now.
Yeah, and a let off for Decky here.
Yeah, that's a nice shot. Plenty of cue power there to push that down the rail and the cue ball through. Still tricky with that red on the rail there and where the black is. I mean, they want to go down and play that red. They don't want to leave that large, that's for sure. For me, play it now. Get rid of it. You can afford to play this a bit firmer, get that cue ball away, so he's not going to. If he did jaw it, he's going to leave a tricky black.
Oh, well, that one wasn't particularly close, actually. A little surprised.
Yeah. Didn't really get the cue ball across either, so this is an easier black than you probably would have been left with if he just played it plainly and jawed it. It's in. Connor Treacy says thank you very much.
Like a qualification match. Win this and you're in.
It does. I'll tell you what will be interesting is to see the frames four and the four players are all locked on 2 points. Because I'll tell you what, someone's going out on frame difference in this group.
It would not surprise me.
Well, I'm telling you, J-Mo, someone's going out of this group on frame difference. So if you think about it, every frame is going to count in this group. You know, a 6-4 defeat could actually be a good defeat if that's the frame that's got you over the line when you've been down in that sort of bloodbath at the bottom there. Like you say, this game here, Connor Treacy or Declan Brennan, one of them is going to plonk themselves into the last 64 with 2 games to spare. Meanwhile, shunting the other one down into the chasing pack. Another frame that's all about the ball on the rail. This time it's for Connor Treacy. Going to be playing it last.
About as good as he could be on it. Sometimes is all you can ask for.
Just wants to top it through for the black into the centre. Might be digging down, have it, and bring it back and have it in the corner.
Oh, that was authoritative.
That was a good shot. Might have been a bit more of a chicken there and played the slow roll down with a bit of topspin and gone in the middle, but great cueing there from Connor Treacy. Very good break there from Declan. Just having a look at his plan and his map.
There's quite a lot of background noise, and I have a suspicion I know why. I was just patrolling the main arena not too long ago, and
Young Teddy.
Yes, you have surmised correctly.
I'm guessing.
So young Teddy White is currently taking on young Rob Warren. And,
the whacker.
The whacker. And Rob is 5-0 up. That's, you know, he'll do that. He's really very good.
Yes, he is.
And Teddy, bless him, is 9. But yeah, I think he's getting plenty of support as this Friday evening continues. Here's Teddy. And quite right too. He's done all right so far. He's got himself a couple of frames in the bank against Morgan McInnes and Jez Graham, which is not to be sniffed at. Two pretty serious players in their own right.
A great thing for Teddy White there, though, is you think in future years to come here, be a tournament, and see how much experience you have. Which, well, I played in the European Open when I was 9.
Yeah, incredible, really.
Nobody believed you, would they?
No.
It's incredible story.
I mean, not even.
He cues really well. I was here last night and Liam was out there. Obviously, it's Liam's young lad. And Liam White, of course, one of our professionals, Danger Mouse. And he was out there just giving a little coaching session. And I'll tell you what, he's knocking the balls to the length of the table at 9 like that. And it was fantastic. Now and again, he just didn't bother getting the rest out when that's the only time he missed anything because he couldn't reach.
So 3-2, Declan Brennan bites back. Treacy flushes that break. It's a funky layout.
Yeah. Your first glance, you look at yellows, then you see there's a yellow tied up at the top of the table. Black ball's quite in an unfriendly position. Well, reds is a complete no-no, really.
Yeah, the 8 ball's not bad. I think the 8, it's tough to say. The 8 ball may go to the middle, it may not, but there's yellows around it if you need to give it a little nudge.
Well, he's gone for reds. He's called me out for my no-no.
I think one of the big decisions for going reds was because of that. Didn't need to develop that little cluster of 2. Ooh. It looked like he tried to stun run through that a little bit, and he's basically dragged it straight forward. Sort of put drag on the cubo, and the top spin's come back onto it. And well, he's gone for the thin cut. Where's the black going? Oh, no way.
Oh,
Oh, wow. nice use of side there from Declan.
Wants to get up onto that yellow at the top there, just in the gap of those two reds.
Yeah, corner's extension on that one, as it was slightly awkward queuing and didn't want to be hurried.
No, exactly right.
I was wondering what you thought, Tony, about the implication today of not having a match clock in our group stage, because I think it's made for some pretty interesting matches.
Yeah.
Speaking to a couple of people in the bar in the last game, whilst you and Mark delighted the audience with your comms on the Waddingham Jones match, and yeah, certainly a topic of discussion. And I think the crucial thing for me is less so how it's been sort of individually received. It's just the fact that it's something different is what I like.
Well, the beauty of all of this is we can play so many different formats and variations. We've got the same rules, but it's nice to have something different here and there, you know.
The pace of the game has changed at the top level. Oh, what a break.
That's some thump there from Connor. What's he done with the cue ball? He's landed in the gap. He didn't mean that, little cannon. It seems all deja vu. We're always at 4-3 and 4-all. This game's, like you said, Jamie, have been very, very tight and hard fought affairs. There's been little twists here and there and some drama. John Rowe providing that one when he left himself angled on the middle bag. That was against Jack Whelan. That was well, Jack missed an easy chance to win the match 6-2, and John got himself all the way back to 5 each and then had a golden opportunity, and the day's really sort of been similar to that throughout.
Yeah, and when we come to the end of these group stages, there are going to be elements, certainly in this group, where frame difference is really, really key. And it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. Connor Treacy currently top of the table on frame difference. Is FD is at 4. Declan joint top, at least in terms of record. He
did mean that break, didn't he?
He gets so much power into that, does Deck. Cue ball's a little wild on this one, just watch it. Rode that middle pocket a little bit. But the power is not to be trifled with, is it? Rather serious.
Extension called. Red ball.
We were talking earlier about Declan's cue power. There it was for all to see. Rammed that red in off a pretty much completely straight angle, just to force a modicum of movement on the cue ball so he could land on his next red. Reds are there. One assumes the one next to the 8 ball passes pretty safely into the top right. Probably not a full pocket, but enough of one. think we just got our answer. I don't think it does. And Declan just tried to land on it. And he's a little bit... Yeah, he's gone a bit far. That's the grimace. Because if he can still make the red to top left, but then it's a real issue to hold for the other red.
He's taking a longer one first and just going to try and drag the cue ball back.
Tester.
He's played that quite well.
Yeah, hasn't he
He's played it
just?
very well. Because he has a little angle, he can just rest the cue ball on that yellow on the rail. He's perfect on for the black. A little bit of a diggy shot here.
Played beautifully.
Brilliantly played.
Oh, Connor Treacy with the break, and he's left a gaping cavern in the middle of the table where that pack was, exploding absolutely everywhere. As he wipes a couple of balls off the table and gets himself first go in frame number 10.
Lovely pot there from Connor Treacy.
Lovely shot, yeah. One sort of red that might cause a little consternation is the one away to the left side. Could leave it to double. It wouldn't be a terrible decision. He's now got more than one problem. Wanted to hit an area there, Connor Treacy. I don't think he's found that area. It's a little bit more on brand.
See that little dip there? The red just sort of dipped to the left as it went up there.
Yeah, it's actually pushed so far above the middle pocket. I wonder if it's a touch awkward.
Well, it's certainly dipped to the left, like it's gone through like a fingerprint or hit maybe a little bit, tiny bit of chalk or something. It's an odd little roll there. So. Well, that was certainly potted with some conviction. However, it doesn't look ideal for Connor Treacy.
No, it does not. Oh, how good a shot is that?
That's a great
How good a shot is that from Connor Treacy? What a recovery. He was in all kinds of trouble there. But no more Mr. Nice Guy finds the route. Cool. Good a little finish was that.
Super finish.
Awesome from Connor Treacy. Put himself in a little bit of bother, but how he got out of it was very, very special indeed. I said, it's a good job you're winning your lags. He joked that it was the most important shot of the entire match. And when you're breaking like that in the decider, that is why Declan Brennan wields the boomstick. That is his best break of the night. Absolutely leathers them. But Connor Treacy can hold on to a little bit of hope. There's work to do.
Well, he has to take the reds simply because of where they're positioned.
I wonder if he's looking at the 3-ball plan for the red to the bottom left. Just depends on what ball he does that with.
Red ball's in play.
Did he just say to himself, that's the end of that idea?
I don't think he might have done.
Didn't quite catch it, but sounded like what he said. Not 100% sure. Don't want to put words in his mouth. That was tough. That was thin. So Connor Treacy does indeed get his chance at 5-all. No surprise to see the loss of turn played.
Loss of turn.
He doesn't want to leave the red in the middle of the table, though, and I fear he has.
He's left some stuck out, that's for sure. That one next to the black.
Can Declan Brennan potentially play a 3-ball plant now? Would be very aggressive.
I don't think you can see that part of it. I think you can cut it in the middle. I don't think you can see enough to go and play that plant down there. I don't think he would anyway. I think it's too much of a risk at this stage of this frame.
Pretty good area to leave. Only shot that Connor Treacy has is a plant. Look for a cheeky little loss of turn there. Again, could Declan Brennan be tempted? I don't think so. He's having a good look at that line of the red to the 8-ball and the yellow and red at the bottom of the table. Oh, you can see what he tried to do. That was a really good effort. He did not miss the red and the yellow by much. And now he knows he's in a little bit of bother. It's heading towards Hail Mary time.
He's going to come down and just nudge the red away from the yellow, try and leave. Connor stuck to the yellow at the bottom of the table.
Yeah, pretty nice shot. Race to 6 this. This is the hill decider. Both players have now wielded their extensions. Has he left the edge? I don't think so. There's 2 edges he might have left. The one to the middle and the one to the bottom left. I don't think he's left either. Enough of it to pot it anyway. Or has he? Has he?
Well, he had.
Oh, he definitely had. Because Declan Brennan caught it thick.
Yeah.
And it was thin he needed.
I think he swung a bit aside on it.
Again, Connor Treacy not really having much to go at when he comes to the table. That's been his issue.
Playing a snooker up here. No, he's not.
Had to get that right. Had to get that right. Wobbled in. And it's really important that it did as well.
I think he's left the. He has left the plant.
I mean, this is high tariff though.
Has to go for it. If he can get anywhere near that, you have to go. Just getting the other red to come back in line as well. That's a tougher bit. Is he on it? No.
Oh, he might be.
It's tight.
I think he is.
I'm not sure. The hand on hip tells me he's not, just by his mannerism there, the way he stood at the table. I don't think he is. I think he just needed another inch.
No, there's only
He
one
played
way
out
to
3
find
cushions
out.
in the middle. He went for the middle bag then. He's played it too narrow. Tried the old cock tat.
Declan Brennan's run of deciding frame victories looks like it may well come to an end. This is now Connor Treacy's frame to lose. Just dotting the I's and crossing the T's.
I think I played a yellow at the bottom first. Yeah, I prefer this shot. Screw back. Yeah, he'll be happy with that, that's for sure. And that's going to do for Connor Treacy. And an impressive match.
Connor Treacy goes 3 from 3 in the group of death, wins a decider against Declan Brennan, puffs out his cheeks, and he is headed through to the last 64 of the European Open. Great job from Connor. Declan very much still in the box seat in Group 3. He's 2-1 heading into day 2.